Hey everybody. So what I thought I'd do today, I'm kind of in between making a few videos here. So the PC game room is more or less finished, so I figured maybe I would do a quick sort of room tour video. Now I kind of debated whether or not I wanted to do a video like this, or if anyone would even be interested in it. And I figure it's an easy video I could put in to fill up the time till I get my next video out. And I myself kind of like watching game room videos sometimes too. It gives me some ideas of my own setup. So yeah, I figure with the room pretty much done, more or less, I would do a quick overview of the room. And maybe you guys could give me some pointers on things I could do to possibly improve the game room. So I think how I'm going to do is I'm just going to go around the room. I'll start with the hardware setup and then I'll go over the games. And then that's about it, really. And then I think I might do some bonus parts after the game room part that I'll talk about. I was thinking about making these their own videos, but I don't really think that's necessary. So if you want to stick around or skip to the end, I wanted to talk about some things about the channel. First of all, I want to do an update on the dogs. Oh, he just slipped in right now. I want to do an update on the dogs because they haven't been in my videos for like a year now, but people still ask about them, and people also make negative comments about them as well every once in a while, and I just figured I would take a few minutes at the end of this video to address that and tell the story behind why I get the questions on why do dogs have to do with electronics. I'll give the backstory. I think I've done it before in the comments, but I'll just put it in the video and I can reference people to it, I guess. And then I also want to address a common criticism that I get on this channel at the end. I'm sure these things are going to get completely lost. This is probably going to have a really low view count for as my videos go, but I figure I'll do it anyway. So let's do a quick PC game room tour, and then we'll talk about the dogs, and then some drama. Some common criticism I get on the channel and my response to that common criticism. Alright, so that out of the way, let's start the game room tour. Alright, so let us begin the room tour. I'll try to make this as quick as possible. We'll start with the hardware. I'll go around the room. I mean, if I could set up every computer I had, I would, but I had to pick things based on more or less what I think I'll be using the most, or maybe if it's something really interesting and I just want to have it set up. But we'll go over the hardware, go around the room, then I'll go over the software, the games on the wall that's kind of semi-organized, so let's just go over this. So let's take a look at this. There's also these areas I'm not really going to go over down below, but a lot of these little areas down here, I have other machines and things sort of set up. Like I keep a lot of my cards, video cards, like sound cards at the bottom, AGP video, PCI video, things like that. So this is where all like my motherboards are and things like that. So, but let's go over what's interesting here. Let's go over the hardware. So all along this wall here, this is all PC compatible stuff. And then I have this little island in the middle. It's not perfectly organized. I did the best I could, but we'll start down here. That right there is my Tandy 1000 SX. We have done a video on this machine before. And by the way, all these are all, everything that's set up, like we pretty much just have to hit power. They're mostly plugged in and ready to rock. So anyways, yeah, I keep the Tandy for, of course, like early games, like CGA stuff, that uses like where the best video or sound would be like Tandy video or sound, stuff that requires an 8088. That early PC stuff is kind of reserved for the Tandy 1000 SX. I have a regular, like a non-Tandy down here. I've done a video on this as well as the Tandy before. If I ever had something where I just need more of a standard PC, there's some kind of issue with Tandy that I've never run into any compatibility or issues like that. But anyways, yeah, so that's for like early PC stuff. Then right here, this is just kind of weird. This is kind of like my PC 98, my Japanese computer. This is one of those situations where it's just kind of cool. I need to do a video on this machine. I've got to figure out, I've mostly figured out how it runs and stuff. It's a little bit different, obviously, but yeah, that's my PC 9821. I actually have two of them. I have another one down. I've never even powered that one up. And I've had it for like 2 years now, and I've never even bothered to see if it works. I'm sure it does. Anyways, this one works just fine. And yeah, I found both of these in the States locally, by the way. So, but yeah, it's a pretty cool machine. I'll need to do a video on it. It's a small machine. It just kind of fit in that spot, so that's where it went. All right, right here we have the 286, my high-end 286. We've done a video on this machine before. This is kind of for that. I kind of mostly reserved this for like EGA titles. This is an EGA monitor. These EGA monitors are pretty rare-ish these days. This is an HX12E. I've done a video where we talked about this monitor and this setup, but yeah, this is my 12 megahertz 286, no, 16 megahertz 286 with an EGA card in there. And like I said, I try to reserve this for like EGA titles. All right, moving along. You would think 386. This isn't the 386. We'll get to that. I couldn't put it right here, but this is the golden age right here of DOS. So this is my 486, 66 megahertz DX2, and then also below it is my this is my Windows 3.1 machine. So if I want to use Windows 3.1, this is my Vectra VL with a 100 megahertz Pentium in there. I've done videos on this machine and my 46 here, and we're rocking a Sony Trinitron Multiscan G420. I love this monitor. It has 2 VGA outputs. It's just a beautiful, beautiful PC monitor. I think 19 inches. And then up here, so here's the Tandy. Here's my 286. There's the 46. This probably should have been over a little bit more, but this is my mini MIDI tower here. I kind of wanted it close to the computers that would probably be utilizing them the most. I have the Roland MT32. I have a Roland SC55. I would like to get a Mark II SC55 though. And then I have the Yamaha MU80. Because I think there's a few titles that actually sound better. Well, more than a few that actually sound better on the Yamaha than the Roland. And then there's some titles I think sound better on the Roland than the Yamaha. So I'd like to have both of those. But pretty easy for me to hook up any of these computers, even the 486 over there, to this little MIDI tower area right here, though. In retrospect, I probably should have placed it a little bit further to the right. Alright, and then moving along over here, this is my Windows 9X station, basically. So these are Windows 98, Windows 95 computers. I think only this one and this one are actually sort of ready to go. I need a KVM switch for over here badly, but yeah, I've got a lot of iterations for like Windows 95 and 98 machines. Interesting monitor here. This is a Hitachi CM721F. Kind of an interesting. This is not a Trinitron tube. It's flat screen. I think it uses some kind of sort of advanced shadow mask, I think. Unfortunately, this monitor has some very slight burn-in, but it's not too bad. Actually, let me show you it real quick. Alright, so here it is. I don't know if it's going to translate well over this camera, but if you could see right up there, there's some screen burn, unfortunately. But other than that, this is like a really nice monitor. This was actually given to me by a friend locally. And I really like it. When you're in a game, you can't even see the screen burn. So, but it is an interesting monitor. I really like it. It's not really like, again, it's only when you've got like very light colors that you can even see it. But yeah, that aside, really nice. That's the main one I use for this whole Windows 9X area. I've done video on some of these. I've done a video on this machine. I've done a video on my K63 Plus machine. There's a lot here I haven't done videos on yet, and these are pretty much fully up and running machines. So I need to do my Ultimate Windows 98 and Ultimate Windows 95 build videos. One day I will get to them. So moving from there, we're going to go and take a quick look at the little island here. So I set up this little island in the middle of the room. This area of the front I kind of reserve for when I'm doing videos and computers I'm working on. So I've got the old Super Socket 7 2 megabytes L2 cache machine back out, and I'm working on a video with this machine currently. I actually have 2 videos I have planned for this machine, but yeah, I kind of keep this thing here, this area here clear for computers I'm currently working on. So right here, this is actually a modern computer, more or less. It's I think it's like an early i5 or i7 in there, and I just have this set up for, you know, well, with all these retro computers, sometimes it's convenient to have like a modern computer in the room hooked up to the wireless, so I can, you know, download stuff and pull stuff from here, and if I need it on the old computers. This is also a cool setup for playing like retro-themed, retro-looking Steam games on like a CRT. Although in the future I might try to replace this with something like beige, like a sleeper machine with like a big beige case, but something more powerful inside it. Alright, moving over here, this is the 386 station. So this is my 386 station area down here. I've done videos on both of these machines. This is my 386 SX at 20 megahertz for kind of earlier stuff. Stuff that might even be, you know, at home on a 286. And this is my high-end 386, and I have a 33 megahertz DX 386 in there. And have a nice ViewSonic machine right here, A70. Nice monitor here. I do have this extra MT32 because I find the 386 era makes heavy use of a MT32. I actually found this at a local record store, and I don't think they really knew what they had. I got a really good deal on this. Unfortunately, I don't really have anywhere to set it up. I can't really put it under here. I think it's a little bit too much weight. I could get one of those little shelves and set it on top maybe, but the power cord doesn't reach it then. So maybe I should just get some kind of like power cord extension or something. But anyways, this is my 386 area. So let's move on. Alright, so we're back to the Windows 9X area. So going in here, this was the closet, and I ended up turning it into an area where I could have 2 more computers, as well as more storage stuff up there. So this is my Atari 1040 ST. I have not done a video on this thing yet, with its matching Atari color monitor right there. So that's nice. And then over here I have the older 8-bit Atari 800, and I currently have it hooked up to this vintage Gulf War era Commodore monitor via the separate S-Video on the back, the Chronoluma. So yeah, this is kind of like the Atari closet here with the 16 and 8-bit Atari machines. Then over here we have a Commodore corner. So we of course have the Amiga 2000 with its companion Commodore monitor right here. And then over here, now I've done a couple videos on this, but I've never done a video on the Commodore 64. And of course its accompanying Commodore 1702 monitor right there. And then I got all the nice disk drives and things like that set up next to it. So yeah, that's my Commodore corner basically right there. Alright, so here we have our my Apple machine set up. I have the Macintosh and the Apple II. So I have the Apple II GS. I've done a video on this machine here, which was kind of successful video. It gets a lot of views, and I did not expect this this machine to get so many views on that video. But yeah, this is my Apple II GS for playing, well, Apple II and Apple II GS games with its associated drives. And then I've also done a video on this. This is my older Macintosh 2 CI setup right here with this cool little Samsung SyncMaster 4NE, which doesn't have any. I actually have a I have a Macintosh monitor that I could pair with it, but I actually prefer this monitor. It's just a better monitor, even though it doesn't quite match. So I would love to set like, if I had space for like another Apple setup machine, maybe like an old compact Mac or something, but I don't. I'm out of space. And then lastly, over here is my Windows XP setup, basically with the giant Mitsubishi giant Diamondtron monitor. You know, giant screen monitor felt most appropriate with the newest machine. So I have two XP machines. I have this guy down here. This is an early XP era machine with a Pentium 4 Extreme. I haven't done a video on this machine yet. And then I have my later, like, ultimate Windows XP build right there with, well, something later. Core 2 Quad, I believe. Like a very late era XP build. It'll pretty much run anything that you can run on XP, more or less. But anyways, yeah, I haven't done a video on that one either, but that's like my ultimate Windows XP machine. So that is all my hardware. Some random monitors on the floor. Oh, this is my capture station. Very janky capture station set up on this very janky plastic cart that I pull around, and then, you know, like I hook it up to the computers to do screen capture. It's very terrible. I swear at it every time I use it. It's not a very... It seems like it might be convenient on this thing, but it's just... It's not. The computer's great, but just my setup here is not optimal. But yeah, that's that, and that's about it for the hardware. Like I said, I wish I had more room to set up more computers. I don't know. I love, even not using them, I just love looking at them like set up. I don't know. I just really like them all set up. I wish I had more room to set up more. Like maybe right. I keep looking over here. Maybe see this door here. No, my summer hat. This door. Like maybe if I took it off, and then like maybe if I moved some of these, there'd be room for like a little stand here, and maybe I could put the Macintosh SE or something on it. I don't know. There's not a lot of room. Not a lot of room to sit here actually. This whole Atari like closet is kind of awkward. Like putting a chair, especially with the 800, I have to move that stuff, and then this is kind of in the way, and it's kind of like, it's a little awkward. It's a little bit of a squeeze in here, but I had to utilize every inch of space I had. So anyways, if you guys have any suggestions on my setup, how I could set up more, or, you know, just comments, constructive criticism, let me know. Let's start on the software. So we'll start where we started, the hardware, which is over here. Now I kind of have these organized sort of by genre, but not really. So, you know, it's loosely categorized by genre. So a few random titles on the wall here. These weird little plastic, like early adventure games. Forbidden Castle. There's a couple behind them. Good old Wizard and the Princess. Up here, kind of like text adventure games, and then graphical text adventure games. And up there we have like FMV games, and then it just kind of goes into like early platformers, just general random things. Like, and they're mixed into, like, that's an Apple game. That's like a IBM PC compatible, so you know, there's a Commodore 64 game. I kind of mixed them all in there. Let's see, and then I kind of went from early. We'll do the Bombshell first. I just went from, I'm not going to go every specific game, but I just kind of went from early to later, and I tried to stick with like adventure, action, platformer type games, and we just go along here. There's a weird little theme right here of like night game, like not nighttime, but like nights and Shining Armor-ish sort of games. I don't know, fighting-ish games. Then we got Tomb Raiders, we're into the Windows era, Thief, and then at the very end I have a little racing, battle racing section. I'm not a big fan of racing or car games, but I do have a number of them I have there at the end. And then up here after the FMV titles, these are my flight sim, combat flight, more or less. I don't know why. I actually don't play these type of games a lot, but I have a ton of them. They interest me a lot. But I don't actually play them a lot. But I have a good number of them. Alright, so dropping down here, I have this little stand, and this is supposedly just like OSs that I have. There's OS 2. I have different DOS versions. And then this is just like random game, like stuff I don't really play, like some random sportish titles or like jet ski racing and Animorphs. And then this top shelf is more like collections, like Ultimate Sim Collection, Sierra Award winners, Police Quest Collection, and then some fighting games. So just like some weird random stuff that, like chess, non-combat flight sim, stuff I'm not really gonna, stuff I'm probably rarely ever gonna play. Over here above Commodore Corner, we have two shelves here. Top shelf first, just some, I think mostly like strategy-ish games, turn-based strategy, I think. Some of them, I haven't really played any of those. The submarines get their own section, apparently. So we have some submarine simulator games. And then just some other kind of randomy games. And then some like VIC-20 stuff up there. Down here, I'm a big fan of the Civilization franchise. So these are the Civ games that I have here. Along there. And then Alpha Centauri. And then just some random like Commodore and Atari ST games right there. And then these aren't even computer related stuff, but it looked cool. And then there's a piece of the, supposedly a piece of the Cray 1, I think, supercomputer, supposedly. I just thought that was a cool piece of room decor. Alright, moving on. So we'll start here. Well, we'll start above the Macintosh and Apple stuff. I have this little thing here that's just like Apple OSs, or yeah, Apple OSs and stuff like that, and then just like loose jewel case stuff. Alright, so maybe a year ago I got back into scale modeling. As a kid I used to love doing scale models, but I sucked at them, and I got back into the hobby, and I had to dedicate some shelf space. So I do understand if if I found room, like I could get rid of these and I'd have more room for PC games, but I had to make a decision here, and I've really been having fun getting back into this. So much so, I don't know what the crossover rate between like people that like vintage computers and people that like scale modeling, but I actually started a second channel called Mediocre Military Modeling, where I try to keep them short. I'll do like 10-minute under videos on these builds I've done. If any of you are interested in it, please subscribe to that channel. But yeah, I did dedicate some space to my scale models. So again, this isn't really a scale model video here, but you know, this is what I've been dedicating a little bit of the shelf space to. I don't know what I'm gonna do when I run out, because I keep building these things and I really like it, and now I have a conflict of issue with space and hobbies. So now my hobbies are going to fight for space, and this isn't even considering my console game hobbies. So maybe we'll take a quick look at the other room too. But yeah, so anyways, back to software. Up here, spacey games. So we got like flight simulators, but when you're in a spaceship kind of games. Then we've got the Wing Commanders and the Descents and stuff like that. Space FPS type games. More flight games that aren't necessarily like flight simulators. Mech, like tank games, like tank simulators. And I figure that went with like mech games. And then after the mech game, we got some more like strategy, like the Panzer General series. I love those games. I've actually been thinking about doing a video on the series. And then over here, we got to the bookshelves. And again, more like strategy games, some older military strategy games, and then of course my Might and Magic, Heroes of Might and Magic. And I've got some of the Steel Panthers, not all of them. Again, more like strategy. I think these are turn-based strategy. It's been a while since I played them. And then I've got some space, and then we get into the FPS first-person shooter section. Got some Alien versus Predator. Sorry if it's a little dark over here. Got like Wolfenstein, got like a bunch of Doom games, and Dark Forces, and Hexen, and Duke. And those are just my FPS game collection. Got some Quakes down there. We got the Kiss game. Yeah, Kiss FPS game, Unreal, and then we get like police, like the SWAT games. These are more like tactical, I guess, tactical military games, tactical shooters maybe would be the correct term. We got like the Rogue Sphere games. I used to play the first one in college. It just had come out, I think, and I remember having a lot of fun playing that in college with people on the campus. You got like System Shocks. Then we go into more like more simulation games. If you love Civilization, you probably love SimCity as well. And I love SimCity, and I've got some SimCity games down there. And then we got like simulation games down there, more like a Zoo Tycoon and Roller Coaster Tycoon type games. And then over here, I see the ingenuity here. I was able to pack, between these two bookshelves, I was able to pack a mini bookshelf. And this just holds those like small box PC games. And these are mostly shooters, like Fear, and then like some of the Unreal Halo. So these are mostly shooter games, FPS games. But I've got some random like strategy games and adventure games down there. And then I just packed some more like strategy and turn-based strategy and stuff like that. Perfect General, just kind of random stuff. Okay, we're almost done. More strategy-ish games up there. I think I kind of went and started going into like RTS games, real-time strategy. Warwind. This is a real underrated RTS. I got this, but I got this, the original Warwind, when it came out. Very kind of underrated RTS game. So Warcraft, StarCraft, Age of Empires, of course, and then Red Alert. I always love the Red Alert series, or Command and Conquer series. The original Command and Conquer was one of the games I lusted after when I didn't have a computer in the mid-90s. And I wanted to play this game so bad. My family, we had an Amiga 500, but we just didn't have the money for like a newer, like a Pentium sort of PC compatible until finally like Christmas of like 97, I think. Might be later. I'm old. My dates might be off a little bit, but this is a game, like, I would just look at this game in the store and I just wanted it so bad. Point and click adventure games. So I do love my point and click adventure games down there. So I've got like 3 shelves of point and click adventure games. Some heavy hitters, not as many as I'd like though. We got Sam & Max and Monkey Island 2, and not the first one. Stuff like that. Now, this actually isn't my entire game collection. I moved here from the East Coast, and I had to leave like a decade of computer stuff there, and I haven't been able to get it yet, but this is maybe half of my collection. But anyways, I would love to, if I could access that stuff that I have back east, I'd have content for videos for another 5-year plus probably. But anyways, now for the bread and butter. My favorite genre is RPGs, and I love computer RPGs. So that is what, if I was given the ultimatum to get rid of every computer game except for like my genre of choice, I would keep the RPGs and I'd get rid of everything else, even just for the sake of collecting. I love computer RPGs. So this is the stuff that's most important to me here. So let's start here. We've got Ultima games. This is the original Ultima. I actually found this at a Goodwill. It was like $100. It wasn't cheap. They kind of knew what they had, but it's complete. So that was a Goodwill find. Ultima 2 was also a Goodwill find. That's about it. That's about it for my Ultima collection. I don't have a lot. I do have this cool thing. This is not the original Akalabeth, but this was like an official release for the Commodore 64. There were only a limited number of these that they did. But like I said, I think this was like officially endorsed by Lord British or something. So it's kind of official, kind of not. But yeah, that's cool that I ended up getting this. I had the opportunity to get. They sold out really fast. I just got really lucky. Wizardry games. I basically have all the Wizardries except Wizardry 4, which for whatever reason goes for ridiculous money on eBay, and I have not been able to get, it's the one Wizardry that I'm missing, I believe. Wizardry 4. Cannot get that. I will not pay the prices people are asking for it on eBay. Like 300, 400, if you're lucky, 200 and something. I no. But it annoys me. I'm always looking for Wizardry 4. One day I will find you Wizardry 4. Might and Magic. I believe I have all the Might and Magic. I think... Oh, Might and Magic 10, I think there's a big box version of it that I'd love to grab one day, but at least I have it in like the whatever little case. Lands of Lore. I won't go over all these, but these are all my RPGs. This is like my horror RPG section. Got the Elvira games and Waxworks and just a bunch of more RPGs. RPGs. What the heck? So more RPGs down here for the PC. The Dark Heart of Steve Urkel right there. The Gothic games. I can access all these. It's a little dark down here. I've got the 386. I'm really pushing it here with space, but I can reach all these and I can see all of them down here. So let's Magic Candle. Let's move across to the other side there next to the Tinny 1000. Alright, so now we're on the other side again. There's the 386 corner here. And then next bookshelf up here we have my Japanese games, a few Japanese RPG computer games. And then I think there's Morrowind and Oblivion, so that's my Elder Scrolls. Now I actually have Elder Scrolls 1 and 2 boxed, but it's back east. I've got a lot of games back east, so I technically have those games, but I don't have them here with me, and it breaks my heart. More randomy sort of RPGs right here. This is the latest one I acquired, Abandoned Places for the Amiga. That's my latest acquisition. And then down here we got Escape from Hell, Wasteland. This is sort of my post-apocalyptic computer RPG section. Then we got the Dungeon Master series, and then the Dungeons and Dragons type RPGs. Got a lot of those. This is another one where I only have the small box of Icewind Dale 2, but I would love to have the big box version of Icewind Dale 2. It's another one. One day. More. There's the Gold Box series. Pools of Darkness is out because I'm currently playing it. So I got all those, and the Buck Rogers, and then more small box sort of Dungeons and Dragons computer RPGs, and then over here just more random stuff. Quest for Glory games, which are kind of like, I mean, I count them as RPGs, but they're kind of like like adventure RPGs. So those go right there, and then some older stuff. The Questrons, the Wizard's Crown. I have Demon's Winter. I need Shard of Spring, which I believe this is a series with Demon's Winter and Shard of Spring. Zeliard. Some other random stuff. Some of these are like newer, like third party, like this one here, like Shadows of Surgoth is an Amiga one that came out recently. And of course Nox Archaeist for the Apple II is like a new title. Dungeons of Dagroth. Stuff like that. I think this is Tunnels of Doom for the TI 90 something. Anyways, more than then we got the old Epix Dungeon Quest games, bunch of those. I actually have I even have Morlock's. You probably can't see it's dark back here. Morlock's Tower. I have all of these that are RPGs except for Sorcerer of Siva, I believe it's called, and that game is another game that's really expensive and it's pretty rare. I'm always stalking eBay for that game, and it comes up once in a blue moon, but it's usually way out of what I'm willing to pay for it. But just, yeah, some other random... These are kind of like questionable RPGs, Conan and then the two Excalibur games. They're more like adventure games with RPG elements, but I kind of count them. And then just some of the like newer small box RPGs down there. So yeah, that is the game room. That's the software and the hardware. So I think I mentioned it earlier, but this is only like a fraction of my collection. Unfortunately, a lot of my collection I had to leave back east when I moved out west. So I actually have a lot of hardware and software back east, which I actually haven't really had access to for like a decade now. I've gone back and like checked through. I even took a video of my trip back east in my stuff, but I just never bothered to release it. But yeah, I gotta figure something out. A few months, I have a friend that has agreed that he might start sending stuff to me randomly, but that's kind of expensive and it could be risky sending like whole computers to me in them. And I don't know. So I don't know. Maybe I should start like a GoFundMe to get my stuff. I hate that's like e-bagging. But maybe I should e-bag to try to get, because it's going to cost a lot of money. Like, okay, it's a room. It is a room. Picture this room roughly about this size, maybe slightly smaller, but I think it's about this size, filled with stuff. And like most of it's like, okay, like it's cut in half, and one side is kind of like video game stuff and movies, and then this one side's like all computer stuff. And that was like my entire collection. Now picture that, and now picture you have the task of transporting it 2,000 miles. It's gonna cost money. It's gonna be like $2,000 or more, plus whatever time I'd have to take off work to drive it across the country 2,000 miles. So I don't know. It's just getting to that stuff is like a Herculean task. I don't know. Maybe I should start a GoFundMe to reunite my hoards, my computer hoards. But I would love to get that stuff back, and I don't know. It's just sitting at the moment. So, anyways, that's the computer room. I did a cut there because I took the footage I just did. I showed you the whole room, and I put it in the computer editing. I realized I apologize for it being really dark. I don't know. That's been a problem with this channel for a while. I have this light, and then I have a light over here. It's not super bright. The light up there is burnt out. I need to replace that. But even with the light in there, I'm not sure. It might be this camera. This camera's getting a little long in the tooth. Maybe it doesn't do well in the low light situations. I could get another one of these, but I don't have room to keep another light stand set up, so I don't know. Lighting's an issue. Sorry if that was a little bit dark, but okay. Anyway, so that concludes the PC computer room tour. Let me know if you have any comments or suggestions on maybe ways I should adjust setting things up. So now we're going to move into the bonus content of this video. I'll try to keep it brief, but I'm going to talk about the dogs for a minute because, you know, there's people that care about the dogs. And then we'll talk about a certain criticism I get on the channel sometimes, and then we'll wrap it up. So for this part, I'm going to go on my mic, and I don't know, I'll probably play some kind of game footage as you listen to me ramble on. So thanks for watching so far if you don't care about this bonus stuff, but that was the game room, so let's move on to the bonus stuff. Alright, so here's Pops. He's a little old, he's a little less feisty than he used to be. You can see his tongue hanging out, but yeah, we don't get to see him much anymore in the videos, but yeah, he's an old guy now. He's lost a lot of his spunk, and yeah, he's old. So unfortunately, I don't know how much longer he's gonna be around. So, but right now he's doing okay. You know, he's old. He has the usual issues with being old. You know, moving around and eyesight and things like that. But he's seen, a couple vets have seen him, and they just, you know, they said he's okay, he's not in pain or anything, so, you know, just keep him comfortable and keeping his last years as good as we can here. But, you know, he's doing, I want to say he's doing okay, but, you know, he's an old guy now. And then here's the other guy here, Paco. He's the one you used to see mostly in the videos getting up on the bed and randomly humping things in the background. He's getting old too, but you know, you can see the gray in his face. You go back and watch really old videos from like 6 or 7 years ago. You know, he was a lot more spry then, but he's still doing good. He's still running around and barking, and he's good. But yeah, I mean, like I said, with the new computer room, I don't really let these guys in there too much. So he's in his little cage now. I'll let him out. You don't really see them running around too much in the newer videos because I don't really let them into the computer room. But you know, they're still kicking for those of you who are curious. Alright, so that was a look at the dogs there, but they're both still with us, fortunately. But I mean, that begs the question, and I actually get this question every once in a while, and I'll have someone in my comments say, what do dogs have to do with electronics? And when people ask me that, I always have to pause and scratch my head because I don't know. To me, the concept is obvious. It's mascots. They've been around for a very long time. So when people ask me that, I'm like, have you been living under... I mean, it's a valid question, but I always kind of be like, are you living under a rock? Like, what does a blue hedgehog have to do with Sega Genesis games? What does a cartoon tiger have to do with frosted cornflakes? It's a mascot, and when people ask me that, it's like, well, isn't it obvious? It's just a mascot. But I don't know. I guess it's not to some people. There actually is a story behind it. It's not completely random, and I've told this story. Usually when people ask that question, I relay the story, but I'll just relay it to however many of you are still watching this video and listening and are curious. So before I did this video, back in the old apartment, I would work on computers, old computers, and I didn't, you know, we've seen from the old videos, I had to do my videos with the computer sitting on the bed. I didn't have a lot of space to work on. Usually, these were my younger days, before my back started bothering me so much, I would sit on the floor, and I would work on computers on the tile floor. And my one dog, Paco, the younger one, the one that's on, his little face is on all my thumbnails, he would get up on the bed and he would like sit on the edge of the bed and he would just watch me work on computers for hours. He would just lay there and watch me. And my girlfriend thought that was like really cute and funny. And like, he's a Chihuahua. We think he might be a Chiweenie, which is like a Chihuahua wiener dog mix. So she would start calling him the computer Chiweenie or the computer weenie, because he would just sit there and watch me for hours tinker with computers. So that's why when I started this channel, it was kind of natural to sort of use him as a mascot. It also ties in with sort of thumbnail theory or something. It's when people like put their goofy face on the thumbnails, because it's a human thing. People see that and it's like, oh, and it attracts attention. And like I don't really put myself in front of the camera on this channel. I don't really, I don't know. I like to maintain the mystery. But I wanted like a face to the channel, sort of. So it was only natural that I'd use the dog. So that is why there's a dog. Well, that is what a dog has to do with electronics, if you were wondering. And I know Phil from Phil's Computer Lab, he's a bigger vintage electronics channel. Like, he has a mascot. He has like a teddy bear. I remember seeing in his videos. I don't know if they're actually in the videos, but it's like his mascot, I think. Unless I'm misremembering. And I don't. Sometimes I find myself wondering, like, do people ask him, like, what does a teddy bear have to do with electronics? But I don't know. I've never had to. It's just obvious. It's just a mascot. So I don't. That answers the dog question. I do get comments from time to time about the dogs. There's a few people that are, most everyone loves dogs, right? So, I get people every once in a while that ask how the dogs are doing and stuff. But every once in a while, I will get people that, for whatever reason, it bothers them. It goes beyond a simple, what does the dog have to do with electronics? Like, people will get angry. So I have this one guy. I'm not going to say his name even if I could remember it. I actually spent time, I looked for this comment. I thought I could find it. I thought I remembered what video it was in, but it's gone. It was there for like over a year. I don't know if the guy went back and erased it or what. Couldn't find it. So I don't remember it exactly, but this guy was like feisty about the dog. He wrote, he was like, why do people put their dogs personal life, family, kids in videos where it has no place. 99% of people don't give a damn about your family life and dog. Why do you? It's like it was really petty. And I did reply. Usually, when I get negative comments, and thankfully, much of my audience is older and more mature. I don't really deal with a lot of like just nasty people. But usually when I get those, I just shrug and I just ignore it and I don't reply. But if it's something so stupid and petty, I will give a snarky answer back, and I did with him, and then he never replied, thankfully. But it was just a weird like. And the thing is, I actually agree to an extent. Like, he has a point. Like, if I want to watch a video about a review of like a PS1 game or something, I don't want to watch half the video of his kids running around or something. But my dog, other than the one dog's face being the mascot in the thumbnail, like they aren't featured in my videos, especially now. They're in the intro for like 2 whole seconds, and maybe in my older videos where I shot them on the bed, like they would walk around in the background now and then. But it's not like I'm sitting there like, okay, well, the Pentium 4, blah blah blah, and then I cut to like 5 minutes of my dogs frolicking in the field. Like okay, yeah, I agree that, but that never happened, and it's just so stupid and petty. And I always have this mental image of this guy or girl, I don't know, could be either, like going into a grocery store and you go in the cereal section and like, I like to speak to the manager. And the manager comes over and is like, what is with this? Why is this cartoon tiger on a box of cereal? This is outrageous. Like, that's what I think of when I think of this person, because it's just ridiculous. It's just a mascot. And like, this person got so seemingly worked up. I don't know. It's comments, so I don't know. Maybe the guy, I don't know. I'm saying he got worked up, but like, it was unnecessary. It was completely unnecessary. But anyways, that's the dog thing. I usually don't get like I said, too many comments on them, but I do get the doggo comments now and then. Mostly positive, but there was like a spurt of like 4 or 5 videos for some reason. Maybe it was the same person that just was a real big cat person and hated dogs, but they kept commenting those things like negative stuff about the dogs, and I don't. He's just a mascot. They're just. Anyways, so that is the dog stuff. That's the update on the dogs, and why every once in a while my videos I'll say something about people making negative comments, and that is why he's the mascot. He's just a mascot, and that's that. All right. So, more bonus content. Let's get into criticisms of the channel. It's something I just kind of want to address. I guess criticisms in general, but there's one major one. Let's see. I'm not sure where to start here. Like I said, I don't get a lot of criticism on the channel. I kind of chalk that up to the content, and like if you look at my analytics, it's an older crowd, and I think it's older men. I think older people are generally more respectable, and they're not just spouting ridiculous stuff just for the lols and stuff. So I don't deal with a lot of I don't deal with a lot of like just nastiness, thank God. But it does happen. So a lot of the comments I get that are negative are also weird, and I don't know how to reply to them. And one example is I don't really do I want to do more game reviews, but I did a game review on Shattered Union a few months back. I think it was like April-ish. And I recently got a comment on that video of something like, if you don't know what you're talking about, don't make a video or something like that. And I don't even know how to reply to it. So first of all, it's a review video. It's an opinion. Second, at the beginning of the video, I said I'd never played this game before. So this review isn't really a review so much as it's like a book report and my first impressions. So I don't know what he was talking. What precisely did I not know what I was talking about? And even if I didn't know what I was talking about, I plainly stated that at the beginning of the video. So I don't know. I didn't even reply to that. I get a lot of weird comments. Let me think here. My Pentium 3 versus K6 3 Plus video. Like the slowest Pentium 3 versus the fastest K6 3. And like I stated at the beginning of that video, like I know the Pentium 3 is going to win. I'm doing this because some guy in some comment something was very adamant that they were equivalent, and I just want to see for myself. And I think I got several comments about like, oh, this is like, of course the Pentium 3 is going to win, or just like that invalidate, like, why did I even make that video or something like that. But like, I don't know. I don't even know how to reply to stuff like that most of the time. So I just don't reply usually. I don't do a lot of censoring. I don't really delete stuff either on the channel. So anyways, I hope this doesn't encourage people to be nastier. Like, oh, I don't know. Anyways, so let's see. Biggest criticism I get a long time. Rambling. Okay, so I want to address that. Since I don't have a lot of opportunities on this channel, I try to stay on point. But okay, so very common criticism I get. Second, well, let's start with this. I think the second most common criticism I get is my sound. Sound on my channel like sucks, and I think I've done better on that. I've tried to get a better mic. I tried to get some better, I've listened to people's tips on how to like record sound, and I think it's gotten a little better. It used to be atrocious. I run the sound, a lot of my videos through like Audacity now, and I try to like normalize the loudness and get rid of some of the background noise. But I'm not a sound engineer. I'm sorry. I've tried to do better on that, and I think I have a little bit. I haven't gotten too many negative comments on my sound production lately. One guy did about like, oh, I would subscribe, but you're like doing a lot of popping through your mic. And I asked him, I was like, I'm completely ignorant of this. Can you give me tips? Can you suggest things that I should buy? And he didn't reply, so whatever. But anyways, the biggest like constructive criticism I guess I get is I ramble a lot, and I'm not going to deny that. Or what did the guy say recently? It was like my Monty Python. He was just get to the point. Like, I talk a lot. I repeat myself. I also go and a lot. I've tried to correct that. I don't think I do that in like normal conversation, but I do it in my videos because I'm trying to think, and I think my brain is running faster than my mouth. And I've tried to fix that issue, and I've tried to edit out a lot of my uhs and ums in the editing process, but it's too much. But there we go. Let's see, there we go. What was I talking about? I'm getting old too, so my mind's not as sharp as it used to be. I apologize. Yeah, so the rambling and repeating myself, I can't really defend that because I do that. I think I repeat myself because I feel like there's certain points that are important, and I feel like if I repeat myself, it's like emphasizing. It's like a sentence in bold if I repeat myself. And I think I just have to remember that this is YouTube and it's a video, and then people can pause and they can go back and they can re-listen to the video and get the information again. I don't have to keep repeating myself. As for the rambling, or I go on a lot before I get to the point, I don't know what some of you want the point to be. It seems like some people, the thing that I've picked up that some people don't like is, let's say I have a computer, and I talk about the front and the back, and I open it up and I talk about the individual part, and then I get to the gameplay. I'll play games on it. And I think some people just want to get to watching the games play on the computer. So like the first 30 minutes, give or take, like they don't like, and they're always just get to the point. But the point of my videos is not just the gameplay or playing games on the computer. It's about going over the entire computer. And some people like that, and apparently a lot of people don't, but it's not, I don't mean to be blunt, but it's not going to change. That's my format. I like it. The second this channel becomes work and not a fun hobby, I'm done. So that's just how it is. And I can equate that with older movies. I like older movies. And the first one that comes to mind, like older science fiction, First Man on the Moon, I think. It's like from the 60s. And it's a Ray Harryhausen movie with like stop animation. Anyways, it's about this Victorian era, and these guys go to the moon, and there's like aliens and giant caterpillars. Well, my girlfriend kind of likes those kind of movies too, but like she could not. She says the same thing when we watch these movies. She's like so much talking. Like, she just wants to get to the aliens and this cool stop motion monsters. But a lot of these older type movies, there's a lot of build up, there's a lot of dialogue, there's like 30 minutes of just talking. And like, she'll fall asleep. She won't even get to the action because it will bore her. She'll fall asleep. But it doesn't bother me. I like it. But I don't know. That's kind of how I guess I can equate that. I know I talk a lot, but that's just the format of these videos. And if you don't like it, it's not going to change. I'm sorry. There's other videos that are more. I get that people might like more clear-cut, concise videos that just get to the point. That's not this channel. I would like everyone to enjoy this channel and the content, but I do this because I like it. Believe me, I don't really make much money at all. And even if I made no money on this channel, I would still do it. But it's a fun hobby for me. And I don't have plans on making it a business. It would be great if I could rake in, $1,000. It would make my life so much easier. It would be nice, but it's not. I don't care. This is a fun hobby. When it becomes work, I'm done with it. So one good piece of constructive criticism I've got to combat both the rambling and the uhs and ums is a couple people have suggested I write a script. And this is a great idea, but it is not for me. I tried it once or twice and I hate it. I hate sitting and writing the things out beforehand. I hate reading it. It becomes work. And as I said just a minute ago, I'm repeating myself again, when this channel becomes not a fun hobby and work, I'm not interested anymore. So I don't think I will ever be writing scripts. Even though this off-the-cuff, me talking, might not work for a lot of people, and I might get a lot of uhs and ums, it's the only way I'm going to, in the rambling, it's the only way I'm going to be able to do it. I don't want to write a script. That makes it work, and then I'm going to end up just not making videos at all. So, good suggestion. Thanks to people that have suggested it, but scripts are not for me. So, that's about it. I think I addressed the stuff I wanted to address. I think that's about it. This video has probably already gone on a little longer than I anticipated. So, if you've listened, this long, wow, you must really enjoy the channel, and thank you for your support, and thank you very much for watching the channel. I appreciate it, and listening, I guess, at this point. So, we'll see you in the next one. Believe me, I got a ton of content I can put together. I'm always working on stuff to put out. I'm a little bit of a lull right now, but there's stuff in the pipes heading your way. So thank you again, and let me know what you guys think. Please, let me know what you think about the room, how I can improve it, if you think it's fine, what you think's cool. What can I do to improve the channel? I'm not saying I'm gonna be like, yes, I'll do that, because it's like, if it's not gonna be fun for me, I won't. But what do you think I could do? Even like certain software that might improve things for me, or just suggestions. I'm open to criticism. I'm open to at least suggestions. And then I hope you got some information on the dog. Like, what's a dog have to do with electronics? Well, now you know. So, thanks again. We'll see you in the next video, and thank you for watching.